Tell us about you. What do you do for Binance, and how did you get into Web3?
Oof, that's a loaded question. How much time do you have? I'm just kidding. My name is Vishal. I've been with Binance for coming up on 3 years shortly. Prior to this, I was a regulator for about 6.5 years in Abu Dhabi. And before that, I was in the banking industry with the Bank of New York Mellon for about another 6 years. And before that, I was in the education industry with the British Council for another 6 years. So I've moved from education to banking to regulation and now crypto. So I joined crypto with Binance about 3 years ago. My job is overseeing the regional markets. I'm the head of regional markets, and I'm mainly responsible for our licensing strategies across the world. As you're aware, Binance has about 20 now licenses and registrations globally, and that's my focus, bringing my experience into over the past 20 years into Binance to help grow and get licenses and registrations globally. So how did I come here? Richard has been my boss coming up on 9 years now, so a little more than 9 years. Wow. Yeah, so it was easy. It was easy transition for me.
Okay, so you have a lot of experience in Web 2, and I have a very important question because everything seems to move from Web 3 back to Web 2. And how needed is the Web 2 experience when you're talking about the Web 3 project?
It's growth, right? You have to look at it from a growth perspective of how regulations came about. You have to look at it from a trajectory of how developed. It's not just the users who need to understand and learn and educate. The education has to be across the board from law enforcement agencies, governments, regulators in the financial services. So it's a constant learning experience. And if you want to see mass adoption, that education has to be at a high level before the mass adoption can kick in. People should not be just following a fad or a trend for not understanding what it is. But if they really understand what's behind the product, what's the white paper about, and what the tokenomics of a product, then it's different, right? Education is going to be key in that sense. For me personally, it was, as a regulator, we were the first globally to roll out a crypto framework in 2018. And at that time, I know the industry was not ready for it. The other regulators globally were not ready for it, but we still pushed ahead. And we did give out licenses. We did give out in-principle approvals. There were companies that set up. And I think that was a trend at the start, where now the regulators are looking at and saying, okay, fine, it's working. And now you have a lot more institutional adoption in the industry because of the Bitcoin ETFs. You have a lot more corporates coming to the game. So now it has legitimized crypto, and it's given crypto the legitimacy it was always seeking, that, you know what, it's not just a retail thing. Now it's an institutional thing as well. So it's going to pick up. And that was the Web 2 space coming into the Web 3. The learnings from Web 2 being incorporated into the Web 3 space. It's going to grow, man. It's going to grow.
Definitely. And do you think that the community it's more oriented towards fun or towards actual utility? Because especially now in 2025, we will get all this regulation, and it will be very hard for most of the companies to handle their business. So do you think the community is more oriented to fun or utility?
You're looking at it the wrong way.
Okay.
If you, the regulation just gives the users protection, right? You have a lot more. You see the industry in itself. If you look at crypto, what it was, and the image crypto industry had, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, it was one of deception. People didn't understand it. It had a very negative perception globally. But now crypto is growing. Like I said, with the institutional players coming in, it's given it the legitimacy that it required. So I don't think it has changed the way the community reacts or behaves. If you look at it from a trading angle, be it any kind of trade platform, forget crypto, forex trading, gold trading, commodities trading, people still have fun with it. Even though you have regulations in place to regulate that space. But people still have fun with it. People still trade depending on what they feel is the market trend. But it's still regulated. So I don't think it's going to change the way. But do not look at crypto as a separate. It's a different asset class. But the underlying activity, what users do with it, is the same. It's activity-based trading. Now the utility of that is different. It's not like when people trade commodities in gold, people actually going and using that gold. No, they're playing with the futures, the options, and the same thing with crypto. People look at what the use cases could be for this and how it could take off, be it layer 1 blockchains or whatever it is, layer 2s, whatever they're building, and the utility of it the amount of people that adopt it will raise its value. Same like gold. The more people buy gold, the more people it will go. Bitcoin's the same. So,
And since you have experience with educating people and educational platforms, what do you think that is the main barrier towards properly educate the community right now?
I don't think there are any barriers. I just think the entire industry is being slow to push it out. I don't think there are barriers. Everyone wants to learn. But we are a lot of them have been focusing on university levels of education or going to corporates and giving them, and we've done a lot of that as well. But I think we need to go a lot more basic, a lot more grassroots level to bring it into syllabus in school. And it's not crypto. You have to teach them about the blockchain. Crypto is just one thing you can build on the blockchain. And Binance, we are a blockchain ecosystem. So we want to teach them how they can use the blockchain, build on the blockchain for different purposes, be it health tech, fintech, financial services, exchanges, whatever it is. But they need to understand the use cases and the power of the blockchain. And that has to be taught at a lot more grassroots level.
Okay, and one of the main questions that I get almost every day, it's how can I curate all this information that I'm getting hit by when I join the crypto space and the blockchain world?
Curate the information. That's, I don't know. How do you study? It's simple. If you look at Academy, Binance Academy, it's a one-stop shop, and it takes you step by step to make you understand the power of crypto. So I think it's a similar thing, right? It's if you want to use the Binance Academy, it's free, it's public, and it's for everyone to use. And I think they have it in multiple languages as well. So education is going to be key. For me, I think education is going to be the key driver of adoption going forward.
What are three main points that we want to touch at Binance in 2025?
Continue to be user focused. That is at the DNA of what we do. Continue to collaborate with our partners across the world, be it corporates, banks, governments, and continue to work with the regulators globally as well. So that's going to be our focus for the next year as well.
Now some personal questions. First of all, if you were to be 20 years old or 18 years old, you just finished school, would you join in 2024 the same industry, or what would you do and why?
I would not change the way my life turned out for anything. What I am here today was because of the experience I had in my 3 previous jobs. So that gave me the tools to help the industry the way I can. I think I can help it today. So I would still go through that same route. I don't think the world was ready for crypto 25 years ago. And we're getting there now. I don't think technology was there yet. You didn't have smartphones back then. You couldn't before you had the internet modem. It took about 10 minutes to dial on. So I don't think it was ready then. So I would go through the same process.
Have you ever been broke before?
Have I ever been broke? You don't know me in university, man. I was but can I say that? Okay, I was a bartender through university. So, I paid for my own education. So yes, I've been broke.
And how did you get here? Like, what was the main drive for you to move forward and to start learning, start educating yourself, start doing all the great things that you did until now?
Social impact. You want to continue build. You want to continue having an effect. It's not about changing the lives of 1 or 2 members of my family by putting food on the table. It's about how can I drive a wider social impact globally, regionally, and that's what I like to do. It drives you.
And if it were to give one piece of advice for the younger generation that maybe, as I said, it's bombarded with information and they're afraid to talk to people and they say, oh, he's too big for me, so I can't go talk to him. What would you say to them?
Be inquisitive. Always be inquisitive. Ask questions. If something is hyped up, why? Ask the question. If someone is asking you to do something, ask why. Why are you doing this? And you always need to be inquisitive. An inquisitive mind leads to educating yourself. So ask questions always. And there's no one big enough that you can't approach.
How do you define success and how can one achieve it? Or it's a very subjective question.
It's a very subjective.
But I just want to know what success means to you.
Success for me is leaving a legacy that you have created an impact. And it's not, like I said, everyone has a different mission in life. Everyone is built for different things. Not everyone has the tools to do everything. So understanding who you are, understanding what is important to you is important. And finding that and being passionate about what you want to do. Chase excellence, don't chase the money. So if you're passionate about something, chase it. The rest everything will come. The fame and the money will come. don't have to worry about it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Pleasure.